Captain Tom Wilson stood silently as the alien diplomats examined his sidearm with barely concealed amusement. Their elongated fingers, each tipped with a bioluminescent pad, traced the outline of the antique Colt revolver he had inherited from his great-grandfather. The weapon was centuries old, a relic from Earth's distant past, preserved through generations of his family. "This is what you humans consider a weapon?" asked Lyrax, the lead Thraxi diplomat. The translator rendered his chittering speech into flat English, but couldn't mask the condescension. How quaint. The 6 Thraxi representatives shared a collective vibration that Tom recognized as laughter. Their exoskeletons shimmered with iridescent colors that shifted from amused purple to dismissive blue. "It's a family heirloom," Tom replied evenly, resisting the urge to snatch back the revolver. "A reminder of where we came from." The diplomatic meeting was going poorly. Humanity's first contact with the Thraxi Confederation had been tense from the start. The aliens had surrounded Earth's orbital stations with their crystalline ships before opening communications. They were hostile, not technically, but they made it clear that humanity was hopelessly outmatched. "Your species clings to primitive implements while we've evolved beyond such crude tools," said Blarax, passing the revolver to another diplomat. "Our biomechanical technology is self-regenerating, adaptive. We've outgrown the need for manufactured weapons." To demonstrate, Literax extended his arm. The carapace split along invisible seams, unfurling into an organic energy projector that hummed with power. "This is what real advancement looks like, Captain Wilson." Tom nodded politely, palms sweating. He was a soldier, not a diplomat, chosen for this mission only because the Thraxi insisted on meeting with someone who had faced death in combat. They respected that, at least. "I'll take my gun back now, if you don't mind," he said. The Thraxi diplomat reluctantly returned the revolver, and Tom carefully placed it back in its holster. The meeting concluded with vague promises of further discussions, but Tom knew the Thraxi viewed Earth as nothing more than a curiosity, perhaps eventually a vassal state. Later, in his quarters aboard the human diplomatic vessel, Tom examined the old Colt. It had been with him through 3 interplanetary conflicts, more a good luck charm than a practical weapon. Modern energy weapons were far more efficient, though nowhere near as advanced as Thraxi biotech. Tom's contemplation was interrupted by the ship's eye. "Captain, unusual energy readings detected from your quarters." He looked down at the revolver and nearly dropped it. The metal was shifting. Microscopic movements rippled across its surface like water. He placed it carefully on his desk and backed away. "Run a full scan," he ordered. Analysis complete, the AI responded after a moment. The object contains traces of Thraxi biochemical markers, detecting restructuring at the molecular level. Tom watched in astonishment as the revolver began to change. The barrel elongated slightly, the cylinder reconfiguring. The wooden grip darkened and gained a subtle texture that reminded him of living tissue. "They must have infected it somehow," he muttered. "Some kind of biotech virus." For 3 days, the gun continued its gradual transformation. Tom kept it isolated in a containment field, documenting the changes. The Thraxi diplomats had departed for their fleet, promising to return in a week with their final terms for humanity. By the 5th day, the revolver had become something else entirely. It retained its basic shape, but now the metal gleamed with an inner light. The cylinder rotated without being touched, and the barrel extended and contracted subtly, as if breathing. Tom made a decision. He contacted Dr. Jane Miller, the ship's xenobiologist. "It's fascinating," she said after examining the transformed weapon. "The Thraxi biotech has bonded with the gun, but there's something else happening. It's not just replicating their technology, it's adapting it, integrating it with the existing structure. The metal has memories, Captain. Centuries of human hands holding it, using it." "Is it dangerous?" Tom asked. "To us? I don't think so. It seems loyal, if that makes sense. The Thraxi probably intended this as some sort of infiltration tool, but they didn't account for the emotional connection you have with this object." When the Thraxi returned a week later, their ships surrounded the human diplomatic vessel with obvious intimidation. The main view screen activated, showing Lyrax's angular face. "We trust you've had time to consider your species' position," the alien said. "We require immediate access to your Sol system's resources. Resistance would be unproductive." Tom stepped forward, the transformed revolver holstered at his side. "We'd like to discuss terms that benefit both our peoples." Lyrax's mandibles clicked in amusement. "There is nothing to discuss. Your primitive species will serve the Confederation or face consequences." "Primitive?" Tom asked quietly. He drew the revolver. The weapon hummed in his hand, warm and alive. The Thraxi diplomats recoiled as their scanners detected the altered gun. "Impossible," Lyrax hissed. "How did you?" "We didn't do anything," Tom replied. "Your biotech virus tried to transform our technology, but something unexpected happened. It merged with it instead." The revolver was glowing now, its structure shifting and growing. Energy coiled around the barrel as systems that defied both human and Thraxi understanding activated. "You don't understand humans very well," Tom continued. "We don't just make tools, we form bonds with them. This revolver has been held by 5 generations of my family. It's witnessed birth and death, peace and war. It has history, something your self-regenerating weapons lack." The gun continued to transform in his hand, expanding into something magnificent and terrible. Part mechanical, part organic, wholly unique. "Humanity doesn't just adapt," Tom said softly as the Thraxi watched in horror. "We help everything around us adapt too. Even our oldest technologies can learn new tricks." Lyrax's color shifted to anxious yellow. "Perhaps we should reconsider our approach to these negotiations." Tom nodded, lowering the weapon that was no longer just a gun, but a symbol of humanity's greatest strength: the ability to transform, adapt, and grow without losing touch with their roots. "Let's talk as equals," he said. "And this time, I suggest you don't laugh at our primitive ways."